Hello, it's Polish Paul VR. Welcome to the channel. I'm here today to talk a bit about a very cool article I came across and also a very interesting insight what some of the biggest gaming companies might think of VR and maybe why they totally wrong about it, especially that they've been outsold by VR headsets. And I'm pretty sure PSVR 2 outsold Xbox Series S during its launch window. So keep that in mind. But anyway, we need to come back to the time when Sony officially announced the official figures for the PSVR 2. Sorry, my microphone. Even though amid the misleading articles that they only sold 270,000 units, they actually sold 600,000 during its launch window, which for peripheral is quite good. And during those 3 months, Xbox Series S, I'm pretty sure, sold less. But anyway, also Microsoft was outsold by Quest itself. So yeah, let's just maybe start talking about it. I'm just finding it interesting. So this is the article coming from videogamechronicle.com, and let's get into it. Xbox says the VR market is currently too small for it to chase. Studio boss Matt Booty suggests Xbox games needs to reach 10 million players to be successful. Wow, yeah, that's a lot. Okay, so maybe he's right. He must be, if it's the head of the game studios. Anyway, the head of Xbox Game Studios has said that virtual reality and augmented reality market is currently too small for the platform holder to get involved. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Matt Booty suggested Xbox games needs to reach around 10 million players to be successful. I think for us, it's just a bit wait until there's an audience there, which is a shame. I'm gonna come back to it. He said, we very fortunate that we have got those big IPs that have turned into ongoing franchises with big communities. Right. So it's a shame here, first of all, that Microsoft do not want to innovate. When was the last time Microsoft tried to innovate? I appreciate they here because you need competition. And I'm by no means Sony's fanboy. I own Xbox consoles as well, and I own Xbox 360. I used to buy every single console each generation. Now the reason I've got PSVR 2 is PlayStation 5 is because I only mostly play VR games, so I don't need Xbox at the moment. But definitely I would get one if they don't VR, but they don't. They've got one studio which did my favorite virtual reality game, and I'm talking about Ninja Theory. Before they was bought, they released on PC Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. I hope second one gonna get VR support as well. It's beautiful in VR. But anyway, yeah, so saying here, going back to that line, I think for us it's just a bit of wait until there's an audience there. So basically they won't innovate, which means they won't grow the market, which means they won't contribute to anything. So how I see it is they wait until somebody else does the work, let's say, other companies, like Sony, Meta, HTC, and everyone else who tries to do something with VR, and then they're just gonna get there, they've got money, they're probably gonna buy something, a big studio or something, and that's how they're gonna get there. They're not gonna actually get there by being there, but they're gonna get there by waiting while everyone else is there, and then they might just get there then. I'm assuming they're just gonna buy one of VR headset manufacturers. That's my best guess, but I don't want to speak about it too much. But feel free to let me know in the comment section what you think. We have 10 games that have, this is continuing with the article, that have achieved over 10 million players live to date, which is a pretty big accomplishment. But that's the kind of scale that we need to see success for the game, and it's not quite there yet with AR and VR. Keep in mind, Apple just is in their headset, which is $3,500. Meta, another big company, Sony, big company. So yeah, a lot of big investments being done. In March, Sony president Hiroki Tatotoki said though PSVR 2 had a good chance of outselling its predecessor, which had sold 5 million units by the end of 2019. PSVR 2 launched in February and sold around 600,000 units during its first 6 weeks, outpacing the original during its launch window, according to Sony. Now, we need to talk about that because there was plenty of articles, doom and gloom articles, because claiming that Sony only sold 270,000 PSVR 2s, and that come from Bloomberg analyst, which was totally wrong again, but Sony themselves gave us numbers which was like twice what they claimed, so that's nice, over twice and a half. And here Meta has sold almost 20 million of its Quest VR headsets to date, the company reportedly said earlier this year. Now Quest is the most successful virtual reality headset. Some of you don't like it, some of you do, some of you think their games are just, that the games making it more like, let's say, not great, because they are so much smaller compared to PC and PSVR 2, and by smaller I mean, smaller textures and everything, and resolutions, and just mobile. But I would argue we need Meta as well, because competition is always good. Anyway, continuing, Xbox boss Phil Spencer attracted criticism in November 2019 with comments made about VR, which some perceived as being dismissive of the technology. He called VR a relatively niche and isolating format that doesn't fit with his vision of gaming as communal pastime. Adding that when it comes to Xbox customer feedback, nobody is asking for VR. The Xbox head later clarified his comments, stating that he loves that the games industry is pioneering in different fields, but that VR is just not our focus. He then stated in February 2020 that while Xbox was not supporting VR, he hoped that one day the space would become so important that it would be no-brainer for us. The following year, Spencer reiterated that Xbox had no interest in developing hardware. Yeah, shame, but I just find it funny that they've been outsold by VR headsets. PSVR 2 might be only during the launch window outselling Series X, but Quest 2 passed last year, this is Xbox numbers. Here, Oculus Quest 2 is the most successful VR headset to the date, with nearly 50 million units. That was 2020 sold since the announcement. Blah blah blah. Although Geronimo states that VR sales grew 97% in 2021, according to the IDC Worldwide Quarterly AR VR headset tracker, the global market for augmented and virtual reality headsets grew 92.1% year over year. By the way, this article is from June last year, keep in mind. But basically Quest 2 outsold Xbox that year. Yeah, they just did. So maybe Microsoft could, I'm not gonna speak for them, I wish them all the best in what they're doing. They seem to be doing well, but the strategy of not maybe innovating, but purchasing their ways, finding the money glitch, let's say, it doesn't help us as a gamers, and it doesn't grow the market. But then once again, we need them here to have the competition so we can have good games. I don't know, I don't have nothing against them, but I wish they would innovate more. But feel free to let me know what you think about it, and do you think Microsoft should invest in VR? They did in past unsuccessful line of Windows mixed reality headsets, which I don't think many developers even optimizes for those headsets on PC now. So they tried, but sadly didn't happen. But yeah, let me know what you think, let me know in the comment section. And before I go, if you're buying yourself a VR prescription lenses, then if you go to vrrock.com, down there you can buy yourself PSVR 2 prescription lenses, or just blue light filter, or whatever, some other stuff from the website. But if you use code PaulVR, you get yourself a nice 10% off from anything you buy on this website. PaulVR, or otherwise the link is in the description. And of course, big shout out to all the patrons. They're scrolling down there at the bottom. Thanks for being my supporters and supporting the channel. You are all awesome. If you want to become a patron, go to patreon.com/polishpolvr, and down there from $1 you can support me and scroll down there in the videos, in my news videos. Okay, that's it for now. Stay tuned to the channel for other PSVR 2 stuff, but for now that's it. Bye 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 bye.